So we are going to study today threaded binary tree. So exactly before we study what is a threaded binary tree, let's see why it is needed. Okay. So basically a binary tree which is having n nodes will be having two n pointers. Okay. And mostly out of this n plus 1 pointers are always null. Okay. Why do we call this pointers? Some pointers will be null because some nodes will not be having the child nodes. Okay, so basically your leaf nodes are there, so counting all those nodes you will always find that given to n nodes there will be two n pointers, out of which n plus 1 will be, at least n plus 1 will be always null. Okay, so basically what happens is, remember that when we are allocating memory for a node, okay, when we are doing the linked list representation of a binary tree, memory is allocated, okay, for the left pointer, for the data value, and for the right pointer. Now if you are storing null in the left and the right side because it is a leaf node, okay, memory gets wasted, okay, in a way. So to avoid that, okay, we try to do something known as a threaded binary tree. So that is one of the reasons why threaded binary tree is needed. Also, threaded binary trees are implemented to make your in-order traversal faster. Okay, so to make your traversals faster, that is your in-order traversals faster, also you can use threaded binary tree. Also, as we have studied already, the in-order traversal uses recursion. Okay, we studied how the traversal is done using recursion. And you must have studied when you were studying recursion that recursion is implemented using stacks. Okay, to avoid recursion and to avoid stacks, also we implement threaded binary trees. Okay, so basically there are two main reasons why you need threaded binary tree. One is to avoid the wastage of the pointers like is mentioned here in this slide, and the second reason is to make your in-order traversal faster by avoiding recursion and the use of stacks. Okay, let's see now, after understanding why we need threaded binary tree, let's see how we can implement and what is a threaded binary tree. So basically, if the left null pointer of a node can store the address of the in-order predecessor, okay, and a right null pointer can be used to store the address of the in-order successor. Now, these pointers that we are calling, those are known as threads. I will explain with an example. Okay, so you can just try to remember this, that a left null pointer in a node will be storing the address of the in-order predecessor, and a right null pointer will be used to store the address of the in-order successor. So these pointers that in threaded binary tree, these pointers will be called as threads. And a binary tree which implements threads will be called as threaded binary tree. Okay. Remember now the most important thing what I'm telling. Threaded binary tree is a binary tree. Okay. It need not be that it is always a binary search tree. Okay. Because by itself binary search tree is also a binary tree. So threaded binary tree means any binary tree can be implemented as a threaded binary tree. Okay, so just note down this quickly, like and then I will proceed to the next slide. Okay, so basically you need to note down this, that the left null pointer will store address of the in order predecessor, right null pointer will store the address of the in order successor. Okay, okay, so these are the different types of threaded binary trees that we can have. Okay, remember when we are studying threaded binary trees, we are going to be dealing with the linked list representation of a binary tree. Okay, so this is the linked list representation of a binary tree, and this tree right now is not having any threads. It's just a linked list representation of the binary tree. Okay, now whenever you want to do a threaded binary tree, you want to implement a threaded binary tree, you need to do a in order traversal of this tree. Okay, why you need to do in order traversal? Because you need to get the in order successor and you want to get the in order predecessor. Now, yesterday's class I have already told you how to get the in order successor and predecessor. Okay, so if you can see here, this is for example a leaf node. Okay, it's having left pointer as null, right pointer as also null because it's a leaf node. Okay, because it's not having any children, left pointer is null and right pointer is also null. Similarly here, left pointer is null, right pointer is null, here also, here also. Okay, so all these nodes, there are basically 4 leaf nodes and all of those are having both the pointers left and right as null. Now, if we use only the left side of the node to store the address, okay, to store the address, then that kind of a threaded binary tree will be known as a left in threaded binary tree. Okay. Similarly, if we store only the we use the only the right side of the nodes to store the threads, then that kind of a tree will be known as a right in-threaded binary tree. Okay, here it is already written here, you can read also here. Okay, left pointers are used as threads, then that binary tree is called as a left in-threaded binary tree. And if the right null pointers are used, then that binary tree will be called as the right in-threaded binary tree. Okay, if both the pointers are used, left as well as right, okay, then that tree will be called as a fully in-threaded binary tree or in-threaded tree. Okay, so it can be known as fully in-threaded tree or just simply in-threaded tree. So this is the example of your fully in-threaded binary tree. Okay, I'll tell you how to get how to do these trees. Okay, it's very simple, but right now you just understand that if we use right side of the nodes which is null, only where it is null, only that part we can use to implement threads. Okay, it's clearly said here, right null pointers. We're not using all the right pointers, only the null ones. Okay, similarly for the left also we use only the null pointers. So these are basically the 3 different types of threaded binary trees that we can get: right in threaded, left in threaded, and fully in threaded binary trees. Okay. So all this we get from a linked list representation of binary tree. Okay. So let's go and see now in the next slide how to get these trees. So when you're given a tree, a binary tree, if it's given in the normal form, okay, what I mean by the normal form, like this. If it's given like this, first of all, you will have to convert it to the, I'm not drawing the entire tree. So first of all, you will have to convert it to the linked list representation of the binary tree. Okay. This has already been explained to you how to convert. So you can, if you don't remember, you can revise or check that video. Okay. So first of all, once you convert it to this form, then we can get whatever type of tree that we want. That is a threaded binary tree. We can, if we want, we can get a left threaded binary tree, right in threaded binary tree, or a fully in threaded binary. So here you can see we are having an example wherein we are drawing a fully in threaded binary tree. So to do that, the first step to get the fully in-threaded binary tree is take this tree and find the in-order traversal. Okay, find the in-order traversal. So as you do the in-order traversal, okay, this is what you will get. This is the in-order traversal of this binary tree. Okay, DBF, EGAC. Now, yesterday's lecture I had informed you all that if you want to find something known as an in-order successor, you take any node here, okay, whatever value comes after it. So for example here, the in-order successor of D is B. Why? Because after doing the traversal, okay, B is coming after D. Similarly, if I ask you what is the in-order successor for F, okay, E is coming after F, so the in-order successor of F is E. Okay, so successor means it comes after a node. Okay, that is the meaning of successor. If I ask you what is the successor for C, C is not having any successor because that's the last node, last value. There is no value after that. Okay, so C does not have any in order successor. Similarly, we have something known as predecessor. Predecessor means given this, suppose I want to find the in order predecessor of G. Whatever value comes before it, that is the predecessor of that. So in order predecessor of G is E. In order predecessor of C is A. Okay. In order predecessor of D, we do not have in order predecessor for D. There is no value before D. Okay. So in short, I've just briefly explained you how you get an in order successor and predecessor. So to get the in order predecessor and successor, the first important thing that you need to do is find the in order traversal of the given tree. Okay. Now, once you have done the traversal, okay, you need to, depending on your question, now this question is, you need to make it into a fully in-threaded binary tree. So fully means we are going to use both the sides of the node, okay, left as well as right. So in the left side, we are going to store the address of the predecessor, okay, left side. And in the right side, we are going to store the address of the successor. Okay, so when I say predecessor and successor, I am referring to in order predecessor and in order successor. Okay, so all you have to do is make use of this. Okay, make use of the traversal and find the predecessor. Does D have a predecessor? No, no predecessor for D. Does D have a successor? Yes, the successor of D is B. Okay, so what you're going to do is, when you're drawing this tree, you're going to draw this node as it is. Okay, basically you're going to draw this tree as it is. Okay, and where there is null, for example D is having null. Okay, so you don't draw anything there and don't write null also there. Okay, just draw like this. So this tree, basically you're going to draw as it is. All these dark arrows, you're going to draw them as they are. Okay, as they are. You're going to draw, just copy this tree as it is, the given tree. Okay, so all these nodes will be drawn as they are when you are drawing. So you draw this entire tree. Okay, so as you can see here, all these nodes that were connected, from here I have drawn here. Okay, once you have done that, all the nodes that are having null, okay, don't put anything there, don't put anything. So all this will be shown as blank like this. When I say don't put anything, you're going to draw D like this. Okay, after you have done that, okay, you're going to start with the first node that is having null pointers. So this one is having null pointers. It is having left pointer also null, right also pointer null. Now we have already discussed that left will store predecessor value and right will store successor value. Okay, so using this traversal, find the predecessor. D is not having any predecessor. Okay, not having predecessor, therefore here you will put null. Okay, you will put null, or here in your textbook they have shaded it. you can put null or you can shade it. Okay. Now, in the right side, you want to find a successor. So find the successor of D. Successor of D is B. Okay. So what you're going to do is, from D, draw a dotted arrow to B, because that is the successor. Okay. Similarly, take the next node that is having null pointers. So in the left side, you're going to put the predecessor of F. On the right side, you're going to put the successor of F. So let's find out the predecessor of F. From where you're going to find out the predecessor? Using the traversal. Okay, using the traversal. The predecessor of F is B. So what are you going to do? From F, from the left side, draw dotted arrow to B. Okay. Similarly, in your traversal, the successor of F is E. Here, successor of F. Whatever value comes after F is the successor. So from the right side, draw a dotted arrow to the successor. Okay. So you're going to draw like this. Similarly for G, predecessor is E. So for the left side, predecessor means left side. So from G, you're going to draw a dotted arrow to E. Okay, here it is written. It's written here also, so you can check. Okay, G's predecessor is E. Similarly, G's successor also, if there is a successor, you need to find a successor. So successor for G is A. Okay, G's successor is A. So you're going to draw from the right side, pointer to A. Take the next node, C. Find out the predecessor of it. Find out the successor of that. So predecessor for C is A. Okay. Predecessor for C is A. So from the left side, draw arrow to the predecessor. For C, there is no successor. No successor. So therefore this will be null. You can write the null or you can shade it. So basically this is the way you are going to draw a fully in-threaded binary tree. Did you all get it? Any questions? You can let me know. Students, you can tell me if you are having any doubts in how to draw this. Yeah, anyone? All understood? Tell me quickly. Okay. So for homework, okay, take this tree and draw the left in-threaded binary tree. Okay. And second question, draw the right in-threaded binary tree. So when you're drawing the left in-threaded binary tree, okay, you're going to only replace the left side of the nodes. That is, you're going to replace only the node with the null value with the predecessor. If the node is having a predecessor, you're going to draw only the left side because it's a left in-threaded binary tree. Okay, you're not going to replace both the sides. So basically, after you finish drawing, the answer is given here. Okay, it should look like this. When you finish drawing, now you need to practice this. Okay, this is your answer. So basically, only the left side is going to have threads. Okay, that is your dashed arrow, left side. Okay, only these nodes, that is your F, G and C, the left null value of the pointer can be replaced with the address of the predecessor. For D, D is not having predecessor, so it will remain null. Okay. And the second question that I wanted to draw is a right intrated binary tree. So for a right intrated binary tree, only the right side of the nodes, the right pointers will be replaced by the address of the successor. Okay. C will not have a successor, so this will remain null. This. So you are going to have dashed arrow from only D, F, and G. So please try this, okay? And if you are having any doubts, you can always ask me when you come offline. Okay, try this. So this is the tree that you will use for drawing that. Okay, so first of all, you will need to find the in order traversal. Okay, and then do that. When you're doing that, okay, look at the marks. Okay, in the exams, if it's just coming for 2 marks, then you can directly draw this. You need not write this explanation. If it's coming for 2 marks, it's coming for 5 marks or 8 marks, you need to write this. Okay, not exactly, you can write in a shorter form. Okay, so but you need to write some explanation. Okay, do not directly just do that. So basically, when we are going to implement a threaded binary tree, okay, we need to alter the structure of the node. So basically, if you remember the structure of the node, okay, the code for it, we had something like this: struct node. Okay, I'm not writing the entire thing, but we had struct node, then one pointer for the left side of the, okay, then we had struct node and a pointer to the right side, and then we had some data. Okay, so this data could have been character or it could have been int. So let's say it was character. So basically the structure for a node for a binary tree was something like this. Okay, pointer to the left child, pointer to the right child, and there was a data value. So when you are implementing a threaded binary tree, we need to add 2 more variables. Okay, these variables will be of the data type boolean. Okay, so boolean means actually it will be just storing 2 values, either true or false. Okay, so we are going to call those variables as lthread and rthread. So basically lthread will be standing for a, if it's a thread that will be replacing the left null pointer, then it will be known as a lthread. Pointer that is replacing the null pointer, right null pointer, sorry, will be known as a rthread. Okay, now basically this lthread and rthread will be used to differentiate between whether what is stored in these pointers, okay, what is stored in these pointers is the address of a child or whether it's a pointer to a successor or a predecessor. Okay, so here suppose some address is stored, okay, address, some address, okay, I'll just write for some example here. Okay, now I don't know whether this is the address of a left child or whether it's a pointer to the predecessor. So left pointer could be a pointer to the predecessor. So to differentiate that, I will use this lthread. So this lthread has been set to true. Okay, that means this 1800 is a pointer to the in order predecessor. Okay, and if it is false, if this is false, that is lthread is false, that means this 1800 is the address of the left child of that node. Okay, so I'll just repeat what I'm trying to tell you. So basically, when we are storing the structure of a node in a binary tree, okay, we had only this tree. Okay, a pointer to the left child, a pointer to the right child, and some data value. Okay, now when we are implementing threaded binary tree, like we have already seen, okay, we are going to have a pointer to the left, the left pointer could be pointing to in order predecessor, right pointer could be pointing to in order successor. So in order to differentiate, given a node like this, and I'm having this address here, where whether this is the address of a, I don't know whether it's the address of a left child here, whether A is having a left child, or whether this is a pointer to something else on top, the in order predecessor. Okay, so to differentiate that, I'm using this L thread, okay, for the left side, and R thread for the right side. Okay, so if L thread is set to true, that means this 1800 is a thread, okay, left thread to its in order predecessor. Okay, and if this L thread is false, that means this is not a pointer to the predecessor, but it's a pointer to the left child. Okay, and same thing is with respect to your R thread also. Okay, with respect to the R thread. So if R thread is set to true, that means this value that is stored here, some address, is a pointer, is a thread to the in order successor. Okay, but if R thread is false, if R thread is false, that means this address is not a in order successor, is not a pointer to in order successor, but is a pointer to a right child. Okay, sorry, here right child. Okay, so that is the meaning of this Boolean variables L thread and R thread. Okay, so I hope you got it. Okay, so till here any doubts, students? Any questions? Okay, let me continue then. Okay, so obviously now you should be able to, without saying, you should be able to write a program for a threaded binary tree, okay, by making these modifications. So I hope you all are already started working on your programs that I have told you previously, binary tree, binary search tree. Start implementing those programs. Okay, now next program that you will have to try is your threaded binary tree. All you need to do is make some changes. Okay, refer to your textbook and you can write those programs. All the programs are there in your textbook. You can refer to them and try. Okay, so now given we have seen directly a tree was already constructed. Okay, how do we construct a threaded binary tree? Okay, so let's see now how do we construct a threaded binary tree, how to do insertions. So if you are inserting the very first node, okay, the very first node, then that will be your case one. Okay, so basically you are inserting into your empty binary tree. So suppose I tell you to insert 20. Okay, you're going to create a node basically like this with the value 20, and this will be null left side, and right side also will be null. Basically this will be your root node. Okay, so this is the way you're going to start if you're told to construct a threaded binary tree. Now in your textbook they have constructed a threaded binary tree using the concept of binary search tree. Okay, binary search tree. As you know, binary search tree, given a root node, given some node, okay, on the left side you're going to put all the values which are less than the root node. So all the values which are less than the root are put on the left side, all the values which are greater than the root are put on the right side. So they have created a binary search tree using this, sorry, they have created a threaded binary tree using the binary search tree concept. Okay, while inserting the nodes. Now I've already explained to you how to create a binary search tree, how to do the insertion. So again, I will not explain you how to create threaded binary tree. Okay. So given some values and you are told to create a threaded binary tree, you can create it using the binary search tree method. Okay. Lesser values on the left side, greater values on the right side with respect to a parent node. Okay. So you can do that. So initially you need to represent the tree in linked list representation. Okay. So given some values, you need to construct the linked list representation of the tree. So after you get the linked list representation, so what I mean by the linked list is this. Okay. You need to, given a tree, you're going to construct a binary search tree, but it will be in the linked list form. Okay. So initially you can create a normal binary tree like this, binary search tree, and then you can convert it to this form. Okay. Once you get it to the linked list form, the linked list representation, then you can look at a question and see whether any nodes are being told to be inserted or not. Okay, more nodes. So basically, this is now what I'm going to explain you is, given some tree, how you're going to directly insert. Okay, so suppose you're inserting a new node given a tree. So you're inserting, say, a new node as a left child. So you're going to follow the steps of binary search tree. Okay, so suppose we are inserting 13. Okay, 13. So you're going to start comparing with here. 13 is less than 20. So you're going to come here. 13 is greater than 10. So you're going to come here. 13 is less than 16. So you're going to come here. Okay. 13 is less than 14. So you're going to insert 13 here. Okay. We're going to insert it first here. Okay. Just draw one pointer like this with pencil. Okay. Once you have done that, once you have inserted 13 in the right place. Okay. Now when I'm inserting, I told you I'm following the binary search tree rules. Okay. So that's how 13 reaches there. Okay. So 13 has been inserted here using the binary search tree rules. Okay. So once you have done that, find the in order traversal of the tree, of this tree after inserting 13. Okay. You will get the traversal like this. So then find the predecessor of 13. Predecessor of 13 is 10. So from the left side, you're going to draw a dashed arrow to the predecessor of 13, which is 10. Then find the successor of 13. Successor of 13 is 14. So from the right side, you're going to draw a dashed arrow to 14. And this is how you're going to insert a new node as the left child. Okay. Here we have inserted 13 as the left child of 14. Same process basically we are going to do for right child. Okay. The next case, the third case is when a new node is going to be inserted as the right child. So suppose we are trying to insert 15. Okay. We start comparing. 15 is less than 20. So come here. Okay. 15 is greater than 10. So you will come here. 15 is less than 16. So you will come here. 15 is greater than 14. So you're going to have 15 put here. Okay, 15. After putting it in the correct place, do the in order traversal. So your in order traversal will be like this. Then find the left predecessor of 15, that is 14. Okay, draw the dashed arrow to 14. Similarly, in order successor of 15 is 16. Draw one dashed arrow to 16. And that's it. This is how you're going to insert values into a threaded binary tree. Okay. So this is the way you can try to construct.